but only relationships, love, can give pleasure to the heart. And real fulfillment is a thing of the heart. I heard a beautiful saying that in a cultured society, people use things and love people. But all too often in today's world, we love things and we use people to get them. And the result is so much dissatisfaction, so much depression, and so much corruption on practically every level of the world. Martin Luther King, he stated that the irony of our times is we have guided missiles and misguided people. There's a well-known conversation between Werner Heisenberg, a physicist, and Albert Einstein, where he was expressing that in the West, with our science and our technology, we have created a beautiful ship providing all comforts, but we don't have a compass that give us direction. Science, technology, economic development, potentially these are incredibly valuable, providing we have proper ecology of our hearts, providing we have values wherein we could live with integrity. Integrity means we embrace our sacred ideals, even in the face of temptation, that I can get so much more if I compromise. Even in the face of fear, that if I don't compromise, I may lose so much. And so much on the basis of these superficial human conditions, we give up the ideals of humanity. We require a strong spiritual foundation. Just a few weeks ago, I was near San Francisco, and with one of my very best friends, we decided to take a walk in the Muir Woods. This is a redwood forest. Have any of you been there? Redwood trees are the tallest, largest trees on our planet. And the Muir Woods has hundreds of such trees. Giant trees soaring to the sky. As you're walking through, there's places where the sun cannot even come through to touch you. There's clusters, sometimes 5, 6, 7 massive redwood trees. Some of them are 1,000 or more years old. Very quiet. The redwood trees have bark that's very thick and soft. So it seems to be like a special soundproof recording studio. We were walking through this very, very quiet, silent forest, looking up at these massive, wide trees. We came upon a group of tourists, and there was a forest ranger explaining to them something about redwood trees. All my life, I've always felt that God speaks to us sacred messages through nature. If we just open our ears and our hearts to hear. He explains something very fascinating. How the redwood trees, what we see, they are so wide and so high, but their roots do not go deep into the ground. So how is it possible for such a big tree above the ground to stand through even 1,000 years of tornadoes and hurricanes and storms, even earthquakes, and not fall down? San Francisco is an earthquake place. He explained the roots, they grow outward under the ground. And all the different redwood trees in the forest, their roots interlock with each other. And by doing so, they give each other strength. One tree's strength provides and accesses the strength of all the other trees. The little tiny redwood trees, when they start growing, their roots interconnect with the gigantic ones. And the result is that the little one gets the strength of the big one, and the big one gets more strength from the small one because the small one's getting connected from different big trees from different sides. This is the United Kingdom. I was born in the United States. Unity is strength. But the nature of this unity is it can't be seen by the eyes. It's something within. Under the secret of the underground reality of the redwood trees. And I was thinking how good this is a lesson for humanity, socially as well as spiritually. There's a beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita. Vidyavanaya sampane brahmani kavihasti suni chaiva swapakecha pandita samadarshan. According to the Gita, what is true knowledge? What is real wisdom? It's the ability to see every living being with equal vision. Whether one is black or white or red or yellow or brown or male or female or Eastern or Western. Whether one is Christian or Jewish or Muslim or Hindu or Jain or Sikh or Parsi or agnostic or atheist. Whether one's a human or an elephant or a cow or a dog or a cat. Wherever there's life, life is sacred. When we understand the essence of who we are, our life, then we actually see our connection with other people. Not on the basis of the superficial differences, but on the basis of that unchanging truth that's within all of us. The Gita explains, na jayate mriyate vakadachet. That means that the person that's seeing through the eyes and tasting through the tongue and hearing through the ears, thinking through the brain and loving through the heart, that person is of a spiritual nature. Satchit Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss, not subject to birth or death. That bliss that is within us is our loving propensity. In the Bible, Jesus says, what is the use if you gain the whole world but you lose your immortal soul? This is a universal principle. To love God with all your heart, mind, and soul is the first and great commandment. And what's the natural result? The testimony that you actually have a glimpse of that love is that you will love your neighbor as yourself. And everyone's our neighbor. The rich, the poor, wherever there's life, that's our neighbor. And when we understand that principle, then we're not motivated anymore by greed or arrogance, but we're motivated by compassion and love. And then we're there for each other, like the redwood trees, where we're actually interconnected. We really care. The idea of seva, or service to one another. This is a little lesson I just learned by walking through a forest. And it's actually incredible. I was thinking that our science, our technology, our development of architecture and arts has made us, some countries, into very, very big, strong redwood trees. But unless we have these roots, what we are supposed to stand for will fall.